Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is a very good text to study once a month. Please don't cross that. Come from this side, camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's already on?
Yes. Once we say the prayer, we don't move. That is the idea. So, this is a wonderful text to study once a month or once in 6 months. Ask me why.
Oh, why?
Because it presents the same truths in many, many different ways, many, many, many times. We shouldn't call it repetitive, because we don't call Vedanta repetitive, because it has only one thing and one thing alone to unfold. But it does it from many different ways, so that the ignorance sitting in the crevices of the mind, the cobwebs of ignorance, you have to use so many different things. Yeah. Getting rid of spiders is not easy. Yeah. To use all these things, So sometimes you try this lavender spray, sometimes you bring in certain things to, put under the bed so that they don't bite you when you're sleeping, and then you try something else so that these cobwebs of ignorance don't spin, these spiders of ignorance don't spin the cobwebs of what? Mistaken notion. Mistaken notion in connection to what? In connection to the truth of I. It's distorted perception. Seeing everything through a fog. And that fog is not very easy to remove. It's like Eugene weather in winter. Takes a little effort to remove. And so the nice thing about this is, every month you can come as a fresh, clean slate. Yes. Clean slate, not just as in, I am free of assumptions and I am ready to receive this knowledge. Not like that clean slate. Clean slate as in, what did we study last time? Clean slate. What was the text? Oh, Dindima. Where were we? It doesn't matter, because in a way, even though it is got 90 or 100 some odd verses, it massages the brain cells each and every time, never fails to disappoint. So now we are in a spell of where the duality has stopped briefly. I assure you it's going to pick up very soon. There are two things and one thing is wrong and the other thing is right. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's going to come very soon. And we are at verse 17. I had touched up upon this, so we will start chanting from 17 and see where we will go. Sarvatmana param brahma,
Sarvatmana param brahma,
Shroturatmataya sthitam,
Shroturatmataya sthitam,
Nayasastattva vignaptau,
Nayasastattva vignaptau,
Iti Vedanta Dindimaha, Aihikancha mushmikancha,
Aihikam cha mushmikam cha,
not chaha. Yeah.
Oh.
Aihikancha mushmikancha,
Aihikam cha mushmikam cha,
Tapantam karma sanchayam,
Tapantam karma sanchayam,
Tyaktva brahmaiva vigneyam,
त्यक्त्वा ब्रह्मैव विज्ञेयम्
इति Vedanta Dindima. Advaita-advaitavadau dvau. Started.
Advaita-advaitavadau dvau.
Sukshma-sthula-dashangatau.
Sukshma-sthula-dashangatau.
Advaitavadan mokshasyat.
Advaitavadan mokshasyat. Iti Vedanta Dindimaha.
Karmino vinivartante.
Karmino vinivartante.
Nivartante upasakaha.
Nivartante upasakaha.
Jnanino na nivartante.
Jnanino na nivartante. Iti Vedanta Dindimaha.
Paroksha satphalam karma.
Paroksha satphalam karma.
Jnanam pratyaksha satphalam.
Jnanam pratyaksha satphalam.
Jnanamevabhyaset tasmat.
Jnanamevabhyaset tasmat. Iti Vedanta Dindimaha.
Param Brahma, verse 17. Param means the ultimate, absolute, is what? Brahman. That is the ultimate. Says who? Vedanta Dindima, the proclamation of Vedanta. Yeah, what is Param?
Ultimate.
Brahman. Yeah. What is Param? Ultimate. What is ultimate? Don't say Param. Okay? What is ultimate? Brahman. Says who? The proclamation of Vedanta. Dindima means drum beat. Yeah. So the drum beat of Vedanta proclaims the ultimate is Brahman, and that ultimate, I am going to say, the drum beat is talking, that this is my proclamation. Loud and clear the drum beat proclaims the ultimate is Param. Param is Brahman. Then of course the next very important question arises. What is that question? Where is this Param? We start looking, And here is where we can fall prey to a lot of various kinds of, what is it called? Vadas. Vadas means contentions. And what people say, so many contentions, so little time really to address any of them, all of them. And what are the contentions? Well, the ultimate is beyond, somewhere yonder, somewhere else other than you. Else means what? It has a location. Somewhere means it has a location, correct? If the ultimate has a location, it is no longer ultimate. Why? Because the ultimate means the limitless. The limitless cannot be located in space, much less can it be located in time. So the ultimate cannot be somewhere else that you start looking, or start looking, adjusting the, what are those called? Binoculars. Yeah. Binoculars, you don't start adjusting, trying to focus in on the ultimate. Because the ultimate cannot be focused in, much less you can zoom out of the ultimate. That which you cannot zoom into and zoom out of is the ultimate. And the one who is focusing is the ultimate, not the object of the focus. The subject is the ultimate. And that is what it says. So, Sarvatmana Param Brahma. Sarvatmana, forget for now. Shrotuhu Atmataya Sthitam. The one who is listening to what?
To the Vedanta Dindima.
Yeah, to the proclamation of the drum beat. The listener is the ultimate. The Atma of the listener, the content of the listener, the truth of the listener, when you remove all the frills, that is the ultimate. Sthitam means abides as, from stha to stay, to abide. Sthitam, past passive participle. Abiding as, that which abides as, shrotuhu, of the listener, atmataya, in the form of the truth. The content of the listener is the ultimate. Meaning the one who is focusing in or trying to zoom in on this param. I want this param. Brahmavit apnoti param. The knower of Brahman gains the ultimate. So where is this Brahman? Kim tat Brahma? And kutra tat Brahma? Where you squint the eyes and try to look for this Brahman. The looker is Brahman. Yeah. The looker and the onlooker is Brahman. And the one who is hearing the words, which words? These very words that you are hearing, the content of the hearer is Brahman. Content of the hearer is Brahman means what? In the hearer, there are two things that are variable and invariable in every hearer. What is variable?
What he hears.
The object of the hearing is variable. Okay? So we can have that kind of a sound. You can have this sound, correct? You can have the sound of my voice. So there are so many different sounds. You can have the sound of the bell ringing. You can have the sound of a train going. Choo, choo, choo. You can have the sound. You can have the sound of a plane taking off. So many sounds. Right? So one sound replaces another sound. So this is all what is called variable, 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 variable. Object of sound. That which you hear, variable. But who is the one who says this sound is different from that sound? Why? The hearer, the person who is hearing. The person who is hearing is the one who distinguishes between the sounds that are heard and names the sounds also. Like what? This is the sound of the bell ringing. This is not Mozart, this is Bach. This is this particular raga, Malkams. How do you know? Because the sound, there is that ability to discern the sound. So the one who discerns the sounds, whether it be one sound or an ornate arrangement of sounds called raga, a melody, still whether it's a bunch of sounds organized in a certain fashion or it's one sound, still the hearer is able to distinguish between the sounds, name the sounds. This raga is going to be called Deepak. Deepaka means the one that, it runs hot, that which lights up everything. And the court singer in King Akbar's time, started to sing this raga, Rag Deepak.
Tansen.
Tansen, a court singer. He was a court singer. Everything around the palace, the vegetation started to catch fire because of the power of his voice and the raga. Everything. And then the fire started to close in. And still he is not stopping singing. He is still on alap, means in the beginning. And then they had to quickly get 2 women to start singing Rag Megha Malhar, the one that brings the rain. Yeah, those singers will not be very welcome right now in Eugene. But they had to get the people to balance it out so that the rain would come and the fire, because of the raga, generated, the heat of the raga would be cooled down. That's the idea. So how how do we know all this? This raga is heating, this raga is cooling, this raga is for the morning, this raga is for the evening. Because of all depend, this is the mind cognizing the hearing. So if the mind is not there, there is no hearing. Even if the person is alive, if the mind is elsewhere, you can be calling their name, hey you, and they are lost in their own thoughts. Hello! Oh, what? I was calling you. Oh, really? I was not thinking. My mind was elsewhere. So it's very clear that the mind is the one unto which the hearing becomes an object. So then what happens? In relation to the hearing, the mind is the subject and the hearing becomes objectified because the mind objectifies the hearing. But does it stop here? No, we have to go one more step. Because the mind also comes and goes. Mostly it's gone. Yeah. Mostly in relation to the mind, you have to say never mind. Yeah. They did a survey of a few people. I think there's just a lot of money available despite the bad economy. Otherwise, why they will do such surveys, I do not know. But they did a survey of, I don't know, some 150 people, seeing if they remembered all the meals they had had in that week. Nobody did. I mean, after all this hype, I don't like this, I want to eat this, I can't eat this, I'm allergic to this, I have to have this, I can't have this. What did you eat for breakfast 3 days ago? Nobody remembered. What did you have for lunch 5 days ago? Nobody remembered. So you see, this is, maybe the study was so that I could cite it today, but maybe that was the purpose of the study. So really speaking, the mind is itself an object. The subject is elsewhere, meaning what? There is another conscious entity that says my mind is not functioning very well. When? All the time. So this conscious entity who is even conscious of the mind, unto whom the mind becomes an object. That is what we call the subject. And that subject is what? I. That consciousness is I. So that is the invariable presence in and through the sound of the doorbell, the sound of the temple bell, the sound of music, the sound of any kind of horrible grating noises, the sound of doors opening and closing, the sound of somebody walking, footsteps, all the sounds. The sounds change, sounds come and go, but the constant consciousness that never comes and goes is established by the fact that it is the invariable truth of the hearer. Because if the hearer, the content of the hearer were variable, then we would never be able to cognize sounds, different sounds. If the hearer were variable, what would happen? The hearer would only identify with one sound, doorbell. And then if some other kind of bell came, then you're not able to, then it won't ring a bell. You're not able to cognize it. So the one who is free of hearing is able to operate the instrument of hearing, onto which all sounds deliver themselves. So the sounds become the object of consciousness, and consciousness is the truth of all sounds. Consciousness does not need to have ears. So that is what it means. Shrotuhu atmataya sthitam. That consciousness, which is param, which is ultimate. What is param? Brahman. This Brahman, which is ultimate, which is the truth, or rather the content of the hearer. The hearer is the agent, and what is heard varies, but the agent of hearing in the form of this consciousness, I, does not change. That constant I is able to cognize the sounds that come and go. This is very beautiful. So the I is constant. That consciousness is constant. So in the word hearer, thinker, seer, you shouldn't say smeller because that can give the wrong idea. So hearer, thinker, seer, feeler. What is constant is actually the suffix er. You see, the er is constant. Hearer, thinker, seer, feeler. Hearing comes and goes. Hearer is transformed into seer without undergoing any change. Seer is transformed into hearer without undergoing any change. The er is the basis. In fact, it shouldn't be the suffix. It should be the substantive. Because the suffix should be that which comes and goes. But no, this is grammar, because the grammar of the language, what should we say, asserts the collective ignorance. Yeah, reinforces it, asserts it. That's why we have Atma, Atmano, Atmanaha. Atma means what? That one which is Param, I. How many eyes are there? One. But here in Sanskrit we have Atma, one eye. Then what? Atmano, two eyes. And then more than two eyes, Atmanaha. This again reinforces the collective ignorance. Yeah. Just because many people think it's correct doesn't make it right. Majority need not be right. And so, Shrotuhu Atmataya Sthitam, it has to be understood properly, is the content of the hearer. Hearer of what? Of these very words that we have been talking for the last half an hour. The hearer of these words, the content of the hearer, the truth of the hearer, is the one that is Param. Oh, so that's very nice. Yes. So that means you're talking about me. Yes. What about the person sitting next to me? No, not about them. No. About that person also. Because how many hearers are there? How many ears are there? We can say so many. We have to multiply the number of ears by the people sitting in the room. Correct? Multiplied by 2. Assuming there are no other, aberrations. Nature-based aberrations. All kinds of things happened. And recently there was a photograph of this woman with her hand like this. And they have a ear growing on her hand. And they're going to harvest it and put it back where it belongs. Because some accident happened. She lost the not the inner organ, but the outside ear. She was in some horrible car accident. This is the intelligence of Ishvara. So you take one little piece, cartilage, and then you implant it here where it can grow with the help of blood vessels and everything. And she has the photograph of the ear growing, right on top of her forearm, right here. Not making this up. I make other stuff up, but not this. So unless there is an unaccounted for ear like that, that means we can say how many ears there are, we can say in the room. Correct? But the truth of that hearing, the hearer, is what? Then also you can say as many people as in the room, they are the ones who are hearing. But really speaking, that hearer is one alone when you reduce it to consciousness. When you come to consciousness, it can be only one thing that makes me hear and makes you hear. It's not two different things. The mind can be different. That's why the same sound can be cognized differently. No, I think it was a dog. No, I think it was a wolf or a coyote. You can say that. Because the mind interprets the sounds differently. But that which enables one to hear is the same thing that enables the second person to hear, and the third person to hear, and the 50th person to hear, and the 50,000th person to hear. That same consciousness. So while feeling very happy that the content of the hearer is me, is that consciousness, what about the content of the hearer next to me? Same consciousness. What about the one sitting behind me? Same consciousness. Even though I don't like them, yes, same consciousness. Shrotuhu atmataya sthitam sarvatmana param. Is the same I which obtains as the truth of the hearer is that which is the I in everyone. Sarvatmana. There's only one I. Even grammatically, they got this one right. There's only one I. So many he's and she's, he, she, it, they. And even you. And if you're from the south, you can say y'all, yeah. You can have the plural. But how many I? 3. I, me and myself. Only one. Only one. You cannot multiply the I. Grammatically also, this one somehow we got it right in all the languages. Yet the first person is always one. We can say we both, but still we are only talking about the body, mind, sense complex. I is only one. We is something that you can count. I is that which need not be counted, because that I is everything. So, Sarvatmana Param, that which is in the form of all the I's. There's only one I, anyway. That which is the ultimate, and that which obtains. How do I know that it's all everybody's content? Because it's the content of my hearing, my seeing, my operation of all my indriyas. Indriyas means what?
Senses.
Senses, sense organs. And then what is that is the first line. Second line, na ayasaha tattva vignaptau. Tattva is truth. Vignaptau, 7th case, vignaptihi, 7th case, vignaptau. In the learning, in the knowing, in the understanding of what? Tattva. Tattva vignaptau. With reference to the understanding of the truth, of oneself, of Param, of Brahma, however you want to take it. Na ayasaha. There should be no exertion. Yeah. This is not mental acrobatics, because the reference is what? To you, to the self. Back, it comes back to you. So there is no acrobatics here. It is not a complicated thing. In other words, do not make it complicated. Ayasa is there. This is another also a little, what's the word for it? A little jab at the people who think they can act their way to moksha. Action leads to moksha. Action leads to freedom. Does it or does it not? Never in 1,000 lifetimes. So, it's a slight little nudge to them, nudging them out of the conversation. Because the people say if you are not working hard, that means you are not getting enlightened. What is that? There is one maxim. No pain?
No gain.
No gain. No pain, no gain. See, I had even forgotten it. That's how little I believe in it. So, no pain, no gain. So, the no pain, no gain is relevant for the realm of activity and action. Because the pain is where? Physical, or even you can say mental. Because the action, there is action. So, the action cannot lead you to resolve this fog of ignorance. What is the fog of ignorance? I am still counting the consciousness. I think there are many consciousnesses. Or the fog of ignorance, I don't feel counted. You're the only thing that there is. No, but nobody is counting me. Nobody is counting on me. I'm sad, I'm bad, I'm excluded, I'm not included, I'm upset, I'm no good, I'm an idiot. This is all the manifestations of the various cobwebs of ignorance. So, for this person who says, that the ignorance, and sometimes teachers say this too, very sad, oh, you need a very big broom to sweep these cobwebs. It's a lot of work. बहुत काम करना पड़ता है. Means you have to really exert yourself. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to go up and you have to climb down, you have to get up on the ladder, and then you have to go here, and then you have to take an aspirin or Tylenol because everything is hurting, and then the next day you start again. In fact, a lot of people believe this. Either they themselves are ignorant, or they know, but yet they are capitalizing on the identification, the self-identification of everyone as doers. People like to be thought of as doers, because that is one's orientation to the world. What do you do? First, what is your name? And then you say the name. And then, what do you do? And even the person who says, I'm retired, quickly will say afterwards, no, but I do a lot of things, because they don't want to look bad. Because this is a doership society, correct?
Yes.
The doer society. And therefore, it becomes a very interesting situation. What do you do? Well, I'm retired, but I have all these charities going. I'm retired, but I myself am a subject of many charities. Many charities have to work on me over time. And then what? I'm retired, but I'm not tired because I have all these irons in the fire. I may not be doing anything, but I have a list. If not any other list, I have definitely the list of the bucket. Yeah, bucket list. All these things I want to accomplish. Been there, tick, done that, tick, 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 so many things. While the Udana Vayu is going tick, tick, tick on its own. So it becomes, Udana Vayu means what? That prana which is in the charge of the lifespan. Yeah, it's a very sneaky prana, you don't hear it. So we are not born with a number of years to our credit. We are born with a number of breaths. That's one more reason not to breathe into a paper bag. Yeah, because if you hyperventilate, the idea is you're shortening your lifespan. Because if you're born with so many breaths, well, what do you have to do to live long? Breathe. Yeah. That's what the yogis did actually. They would breathe once in a while. 1 minute would go by, and then don't try it because we don't want any blue people in the room. Yeah. I'm not talking politically. This is also election season. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking literally blue. We don't want people in the room to turn blue. So don't try it right now. Try it on your own time. But for that you need exercise. You need pranayama. You need all these things to boost up the lung power so that you can breathe 4 times a day and still be okay. People do this. But that's not the whole point here. The point is what? The point is that this Udana Vayu, the one that counts the breath, is racing along with your list of things to be accomplished. The list of things to be accomplished, you silently are going tick, tick, have done that, but still there is one more thing to do, have done that, but part B is left, and have done that, but part C is left. You are going tick, tick, tick. And the Udana Vayu, this prana in charge of the lifespan, each time you breathe is going tick, 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 tick. Inhale, tick, exhale, tick. Oh my God, so soon, tick, tick, because you breathe fast. So which tick is going to, overcome this other list, is only a matter of time. It's a matter of guesswork. So people basically, ignorance means How do you understand that there is rampant ignorance? Is because of the fact that people won't quit doing things. Yeah. Keep on doing. Something or the other they have to keep doing. न कश्चित् कर्मणि अपि न कश्चित् क्षणम् अपि न जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत्. Bhagavan Krishna says, where? Huh? Gita, yes. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, you cannot sit even still for a minute without doing anything. This is the nature of the orientation. I won't say nature. The orientation of the person. And what does Vedanta Dindima say? The proclamation of the drumbeat of Vedanta says that this is an offshoot of ignorance. Self-ignorance leads one to run around in circles and identify as the doer. In fact, the more you identify as the doer, the more you are identifying with your ignorance. So this is the problem of self-ignorance. Because the self-ignorance, because I don't know myself, then how come I'm transformed into a doer just because I don't know myself? Listen carefully. Because I don't know myself, then I don't know that I am the whole. I am the most fulfilled thing there is. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to do that has to be done. Whatever I do is for fun, is anayasa again, without ayasa, without exertion. It's just fun. Whatever I do is just purely because I would like to do it, not because I have to do it. And then what? There is no pressure to do. And so the self-ignorance causes there to be pressure to do things. And what is the gasoline that causes this, that fuels this pressure? Yeah, Dvesha and
Raga.
Raga. What is Raga, Dvesha?
I likes and dislikes.
Twins, yeah. They always come together. One's own likes and dislikes. The twins, Raga and Dvesha, they are the gasoline that makes the desires run very fast, and the desires are converted to pressure. They have to be fulfilled now. And in order to fulfill a desire, you can't just sit to that desire that keeps gaining pressure like Sandy. It becomes a superstorm. All the Raga Dveshas become this huge mammoth storm. And they spur you into activity. So that is the connection between action, orientation towards doership, and identification with oneself as the doer, and ignorance. That is the most telling association with ignorance, self-ignorance. And so what? So I become an actor. And when I am an actor, that means what? Who is the one who is acting? Not the neighbor, correct? I am the one who is acting. And if I am the actor, and I have these actions are fueled by the pressure to accomplish something or to keep something at bay, both Raga and Dvesha. And then what happens? What happens to the result of the action?
It comes.
It
goes.
Yeah, it could be either favorable to me, I could get what I want, or I don't get what I want. Those are the only two possibilities, more or less. So then if it is favorable, then what happens? Does the pressure to accomplish things, does it go away? Oh, thank God, I have accomplished this and now I can just sit quietly? No. Oh, if I could get that far, then I can do the next thing, and the next, and the next. Desires, somebody asked how many desires there are, more than the hairs on the head. Yeah. Unless one is bald, you say all these things. That is, if you have hairs. More than the hair on the head, the desires are. So just because one desire is accomplished, doesn't mean that the next desire that is waiting in line is not going to create pressure to make it be fulfilled. It is going to create pressure. In fact, It's like a series of systems in this climate change reality that we are seeing. Now they are saying there is one more storm coming in the east coast. Apparently. And so these it's like the hurricane season. Yeah. It has its own season. We thought there is fall, winter, autumn and spring, and then hurricane in between. 5th season. It's really called hurricane season. And when I lived in Georgia, it was every other day, hurricane season, hurricane is coming, hurricane is coming. And some of them wouldn't hurry, even though they are called hurricanes. Very slowly come. Without hurry, very unhurriedly, this hurricane would arrive. A few trees would go and something would happen and then it would go in the next one. So these pressure systems are just right behind one another. They make landfall, meaning, okay, they have accomplished whatever their idea was. So too the pressure-filled desires. And until they make landfall, they create a depression in the person. So you have this depressed system, meaning I don't know what to do, I'm not getting my needs met, I'm not getting not needs. Desires met, I'm a sad person because nobody is listening to me, that also is a desire. In fact, that's the first desire that makes people get married, meaning at least one person will listen to me. Yeah, famous last words. And I can't change even a single person. These are all these useless desires. They accumulate pressure because of these desires which are propelled by the raga dveshas. The ambitions propelled by my likes and dislikes accumulate this pressure. And then what? They cause depression. It's just like the hurricane system. And then it makes a landfall. At the cost of a lot of destruction to self and others, I fulfill the desire, and then what? Next one is still waiting. You have to track the next hurricane. Then you have to track the next one and the next. It keeps coming. And one is locked into the identification, I am the actor. Correct? And of course the result of action can go both ways. It can be favorable or unfavorable to what your ambitions were. And if it is favorable, we still cannot say all goes well and good because nothing is well and good. I wish it was a little better. Maybe next time I'll try even more. And if it's unfavorable, everything breaks loose, correct? Yeah. So how much control do you have over the result of action? 5%, 10%, 15%, 50%. Between you and Ishvara, 50% you, 50% God. No? No. Zero. How do we know that? Bhagavad Gita again. What does she say? What does Bhagavan Krishna say there? Karmani eva adhikarahate. Your realm of power is only limited to action. Na phaleshu kadachana. Not at any time do you have any say over the results. You can act. You can act in good faith, in good intention. You can put the necessary effort. But then you don't know how it's going to turn out. It's all in the wash. You don't know how it's going to come out. When the karma goes through the spin cycle, you don't know what's going to come out. This is the truth. This is not just because the Gita is saying that. You really have no say over the action. With the best of intentions, you say something, and then what happens? It comes out all wrong. Okay, it doesn't come out all wrong, it comes out all right. The other person takes it all wrong. The other person doesn't take it all wrong, it's all right, but still something was else they understood, other than what you had to communicate. Oh, finally I was able to communicate. For how long? 2 seconds. In between several miscommunication is a moment of perfect communication. That is what human life is. This is what it is because we do not control. Although there is an illusion that one does not control the effects or the fruits of one's actions. The results of one's actions are not in one's hand. So therefore what? Therefore, how much disappointing is it to be identified with one's actions and call oneself the actor? How sad it is. What kind of an actor? The one that is spinning like a system, like I told you, spinning around oneself, having no power at all over the results of action. And still, this big actor cap is on the head. What kind of actor? Who is the real actor? Will the real actor please stand up? This is just a masquerade. Karta is a Halloween costume, actor. Karta means actor. So the one who is identified with the actions as the actor is a very sad person, no doubt, but also a very tired person. Ayasa is there. Because the whole day becomes like, oh. Because first there is a pressure to sound very busy. Oh, I'm doing a lot of things, I'm engaged in this, in the beginning of the day. And then at the end of the day you ask them, oh, I did this. Oh, are you happy? No, there is so much else to do. I'm not happy because what I wanted I couldn't do. What I didn't do, what I didn't want I had to do. And the result that I didn't want came. And the result that I wanted was always elusive. This is the human condition. Do we have to accept it? Say no, even if you want to say yes. No, why? Because there is Vedanta that gives a drastically different understanding of the truth of oneself. Compare this kind of a life of endless action, even lifetime after lifetime of endless action, no result or opposite result. No result means not what I wanted. Not enough, not what I wanted, opposite of what I wanted, less than what I wanted. All this is my fate. So imagine this actor, an exhausted actor. Contrast it with a person trying to just go to the root of this all and seeing that it's because of self-ignorance that I identify with all these desires. Because I don't know who I am, I desire to be this and that. I get caught into this storm of becoming, this life of becoming called samsara, because I keep wanting to become somebody or the other, something or the other. This unsatisfied person, discontented person, which is I, which I think is I, is the one trying to set right this discontent. And what do we say? The discontent itself is a superimposition upon this I. Last night we were talking about superimpositions. It is an aropa. It's a superimposition upon that I, just like the pot and the clay. The pot is an incidental attribute to clay. So too the discontentment is an incidental attribute sustained by the self that is the source of all contentment. So the sad, depressed individual is an incidental attribute. Sadness and depression is an incidental attribute of Ananda, which is the basis of the tears. So what sustains the tears is Ananda. Satchit Ananda sustains the crying persons. In and through the tears, what shines is that limitlessness, that happiness, which is the truth of oneself, the contentment, which is the truth of I, sustains the tears. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful thing. Beautiful. So the tears and the fears, from the tears to the fears, my dears, is what? Is just and as though, all the way, as though. It's not real, it's not param. Real means that which is param, which is ultimate, which cannot be negated. This can be negated. Because not only do I objectify it, I am sad. How do you know you are sad? Because I know what it is not to be sad. You see, so already it is coming and going. And I want to get rid of this sadness. It cannot go soon enough. This itself shows that the sadness, the discontent the depression, the fear is an aberration and it is not the truth of the self. So therefore, the one who understands this and switches the gears from identification with trying to act and being the actor. What kind of an actor? A discontented actor. Give up that and goes to the root of this depression, goes to the root of all these that make me act in certain ways. And what is that root? Desire. What is the root of the desire? Ignorance. What kind of ignorance?
Self-ignorance.
Oneself. Ignorance of oneself. So that is what has to be remedied. So you go to the root of it. This is really what is going to the root of it and then addressing it from the source. The source of the pain and the sorrow and the discontentment, the source of all fears, the source of inadequacy, the source of discontent is self-ignorance. I can try to fix the discontentment through actions of all various kinds, Vaidika and Laukika, religious and secular. I can try, but at best it will yield accidental and time-bound results. Accidental means accidentally I become happy. Yeah. Time-bound. All results are time-bound of action. Plus they cause lot of tiredness. That is why everybody has to be on vitamin pills. Yeah, because you have to power the actor. Yeah, you have to be on multivitamins. And so therefore, that is one option, but that means what? Going around in circles without learning the truth or the lessons of one's own experience. One is going around in circles like a bull tied to an oil press. There is that one big weight is put on one side and like a plow, but except it is connected to another big stone. Underneath you put sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, and there is a short rope. And the bullock, the poor thing, can only go round. And sometimes it can go anti-clockwise. That's all the choice it has. It will try and stop and sit down. The rope is not even long enough for it to sit down. And then it cannot go closer to that pole to which it is tied because they have put some, some kind of a thing that is sawdust or something that it doesn't like to step in. So where it walks is just a very cruel and a short area. And it will still try to sit down, it will kind of crouch. And somebody will immediately go, come on, get up, go round. This is, even though we feel sad for the bull and all the Eugene animal rights activism comes out, within, the bullock is a metaphor. A bull is a metaphor for one's own life. Full of ayasa, full of exertion to no avail. The exertion should have a fruit. And what is the fruit of this exertion? More samsara, because the more karma is being created even as you are trying to fulfill the desires. And what kind of karma? The one that gives next life. As what? We don't want to find out. So much karma, so little time. So this is what is the meaning of the word ayasa. See how long we spent on one word. Every bit worth it. Yeah. This is the teaching. You don't gloss over anything. Each and everything is unfolded. So this is the ayasa, this no good exertion. No end, dead end activity. Because all activities are dead end, because even though you say, I want to get ahead in my life, I want to get ahead in my job, that's not what you really want. What you want is to stop complaining about yourself. That is really what you want. You want to stop feeling hurt, feeling guilty, feeling pain, feeling discontented. That is what you want. It's just because it is not understood, it morphs into all these wants that you really don't want. Yeah. Understood?
Yes.
Say yes even though you
Yes.
don't mean it. More we'll see after half an hour. So 11 o'clock. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. You can